let's go through my list. These are the 8 things that I think are super valuable for you to start a business. So let's start with the first one. And the first one I think is find your passion. Pretty much everybody has something that they're interested in and they spend their free time watching either YouTube videos or watching TV, reading articles, books. So I think the most important thing is to find the passion or like let's say business niche that you're interested in. So, for example, if you watch a lot of car videos and you're passionate about cars, as I am, you watch a lot of YouTube, right? You watch a lot of reviews, you watch the different personalities, the perspectives on the car reviews, jokes. I mean, I've grown up with Top Gear and just watching the three of them do what they do is something that I value. And yeah, that's pretty much why me jumping into cars is something that I value a lot. And also something that I'm gonna sustain in terms of if something happens and I'm not doing it for the money, if something happens in terms of the business, it slows down or my expectations are not met and there is a recession coming, I'm going to continue doing it because it's my passion. This is what I think is number one, because if you're not passionate about what you're doing in terms of business or a side hustle or anything that you do as a, let's say, a hobby that you might not even expect to generate some money, you need to think in a longer term. You need to think of what's going to endure in terms of when you're not feeling motivated, when you don't feel like doing something in particular. I mean, this is coming from experience. I was involved in Amazon FBA, and this is something that I wanted to learn by practicing, but I was not super excited about selling kitchen accessories in the US. So when the things got tough, I pretty much dropped it. So I think it's valuable to find your passion and find a business model around that. And number two is identify who you are. This might sound a little bit woohoo. There are certain ways that you can find out who you are. You might already know who you are in terms of strengths and weaknesses. To an extent, an option to ask your friends, your colleagues, your parents about your strengths and weaknesses, but there might be a bias in terms of what they say, so they might actually validate certain things that are not true. There are different ways. Something that I found super valuable, at least in my life, is it's a little bit out there, so take it with a grain of salt, is human design, which is this type of astrology-based thing that actually separates us into 4 different types of people. So there are like infinite amount of variations. That's actually something that helped me identify who I am and who I'm not. This is something, just do your own research on that topic. There are so many videos on that. If you're interested, drop me a line and I'm going to explain furthermore maybe in a different video. The whole idea of identifying who you are is, for example, if you're the starter of a business like I am, I'm the idea generator, I'm the fire starter. That's why I'm actually creating this video, to push you and use my energy for something that you want to start. But I know who I am and I'm trying to navigate life based on that. If you know who you are, then you're gonna find the people around you that are going to complement you in terms of team, and then things are gonna work out in a much better way. Another tool that you can use is the personalities test. I think it's 16 personalities. Honestly, for me, I think I've done it like 3 times in my life during different years and separate from different periods of time. But there are similarities, but based on how I'm feeling, I guess, and my perception of who I am, I'm shown as a different person. I think there are 4 letters and the 3 letters are saying the same, but I think one of them, the introvert and extrovert, are kind of changing depending on how I feel in that particular moment. Use the tools if you're more to the point person and you don't believe in the woohoo, and focus on the personalities test and get a concrete information and try to use it in your business ventures and complement yourself with a certain people. This is not the topic of conversation of how to grow in terms of a team and everything like that, but this is just a start, and I think it's super valuable for you to know who you are and then navigate the team around you that you're potentially going to need. Let's go to number three. Number three is clarify the business model. So this is super important. The business model can be how you're actually gonna start making money. To an extent, the more time it goes, the more there's a value in terms of having a community around people that are interested in the same things you're interested, and then you can start navigating the business model. So I think the business model is important, but I think first you need to start creating a community around the topic, or just finding a community around the topic that you're interested in, and just jumping into that and start a communication on what their problems are. They having a problem, and then there's a problem that needs to be resolved, and you're the person that can resolve that particular niche, of course. But in terms of business model, I'm thinking more on whether that's something that you're going to do full time, there's something you're going to do part time, whether that's something that you're going to be outsourced, whether that's something that you're going to do passively, which honestly, there's not anything that you can do passively, maybe just investing in S&P 500. But yeah, you need to identify what type of business model do you want. So for example, if you want to grow into a corporation, if you want to grow into a larger team, just find what is attractive to you. Now, what is attractive in terms of what's being pushed down from society, and find out what actually drives you. So if you want or you see the value of having a big team and you want to be having a business that actually has a big team, perfect, go for it. And plan yourself and plan your actions on creating a big team and growing that company. I think personally for me, I value having the time for myself. So yeah, if you want to do it as a hobby or if you want to do it as a side hustle, then everything kind of changes. You don't need to spend 8 hours a day or plan to spend 8 hours a day. So you can create and navigate the business in a different sense. So think about the business model that you're planning to do. If you're interested in this, and maybe I should say for every single point, if you're interested in delving more into the business model, let me know in the comments and I'll create a separate video on that. Yeah, so number 4 is go to market fast. Create the minimal viable product. This is the core of the product that you want to showcase to potential clients. And this is the core idea of the business that you have. This is not the features and the things you want to see on top of that. So don't overthink and overspend a lot of time on this. Just try to get the feedback as fast as you can. This is just a state that you need to change. This is something that you need to push yourself to be open for criticism, to go and face the challenges and the feedback that you get from clients. So just focus on creating what's the core idea. And then based on the core idea, in the next steps, you're going to talk to clients and then you're going to navigate and create the specified product later on. Focus on the core, and that's it for number 4. Number 5, talk to clients. I want to continue talking about the MVP, and the idea behind it is you need to talk and face the feedback that you get from the clients, either being in a B2B company or in a B2C company. You need to talk to clients in terms of customers, maybe businesses if you're in a B2B, and get the feedback from them as fast as you can, because you don't want to spend a couple of years of resources, money to work on something that there is no need for it in the marketplace. So get that feedback as fast as you can. I know it's going to be painful, especially if you're hyped yourself up to that point that you want to create, or you've created this vision that this idea is going to save your life and this is like a pipe dream and this is something that you're doing. But if you're passionate about what you're doing, you're going to be open to criticism and still navigate that and push forward in a meaningful way. Talk to clients fast, and then let's go to the next one. Number 6 is marketing. Marketing is once you identify your clients and start speaking to them. That's in the previous point. Marketing is how do you find them in larger scale, especially in the online world. So for example, if you're interested in speaking to auto manufacturers, then start finding people on LinkedIn. If you want to find your clients and market to them, you need to find where they're hanging. If you're in a B2B, then you're going to need an email list. You need to start going to conferences, you need to find people on LinkedIn in key positions to start the conversation and building relationships with. If you're in B2C, TikTok is hyping up quite a lot. Instagram, Facebook is quite huge as well. There's so many different ways that you can find and target that specific market with specific messaging based on the clarifications from talking to clients. That's number 6, marketing. How you actually showcase what you have done by the results, by the conversations that you have with potential clients in terms of customers in a B2C or businesses in a B2B. So how do you showcase what you've done? Number 7, test sales and pricing. So once you identified your clients, you know that you're in the B2C, let's say, you know that people can be found on Facebook and Instagram, you know the niche that you're in, it's quite easy to start creating offers and sales. You can use other people's products in terms of where in the market, in terms of pricing that you want to be. It's better to be differentiated both in the sales message, in the marketing message, and in the pricing. And that kind of falls all the way back to the clients and identifying a specific need for a specific target group. So if you can solve something that is super specific to a specific group, and that's like a huge problem for them, then it's so much easier for you to expand in different industries. I mean, it's so much cheaper for you to, let's say, focus on car enthusiasts owning BMWs from this year to that year, in manual, naturally aspirated engine, blah, 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 all the specifics, right? Instead of like, who are you going to sell? I'm going to sell to everyone. How do you market yourself to everyone? I mean, everyone is everywhere, and that's going to cost you so much money and time, and you're going to lose focus. So niche down and focus on a specific market, and then start testing out the pricing, start testing out the sales messages, start testing out what works and what doesn't. This is pretty much the theme of my practical life and practical experience. Test out every single thing. And the faster you are in testing, the faster the feedback loop is closed, and then you can iterate and reiterate and reiterate and then go for that success that you're trying to achieve. This is sales and pricing number 8, and that's reiterate the cycle. And I've already touched a little bit from the previous point, but the whole idea is to go through the points and reiterate. So for example, if you've already done the market research, you found your client, you spoke to them, you get the feedback, you tested out the sales message, tested out the marketing messages, you tested out the pricing, and clients already started coming in, depending on what you're selling, or if you're just doing it for not-for-profit, or you're just doing it to create a community. Results are going to start coming in. The most important thing that I want to say is, coming back to first point, is the passion. If you're passionate about what you're doing, you're going to endure the difficulties, you're going to endure the time, the money, and the resources that you spend to do a one cycle. And then the more the resilient you are, the faster you're going to do the cycles, because you understand that if I reiterate faster, it's going to be painful, but at the same time, I'm going to learn so much more faster. So I'm going to spend less time and less money, and I'm going to pivot and navigate the market better. That's the final point. You need to be agile, you need to be open-minded, and you need to be honest with yourself, and the market needs to be honest and brutal, which probably is, so you navigate that from a bigger perspective. And I think it's super valuable for you to have that mindset that, okay, it might not work the first time, it might not work in the second time, maybe in the 5th time, it might take a couple of years. But if you're starting from the passionate perspective to start a business, that's something that you see yourself doing in the next 10, 15, 20 years, or something that you're willing to do for the rest of your life, because that's your passion, that's your hobby, and you want to be in that market, that's the perfect business that you start, and that's the perfect community or non-for-profit organization that you can start. Okay, so that has been my list, my top 8 list in terms of how to start your business. If you have any questions, make sure you let me know in the comment section down below from my statements and my list of things that you need to do to start a business. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and share the video. And I hope this has been something that's been beneficial for you. Hopefully this has created a little bit more structure on the steps that you need to take to start and create that passion project that you have or been neglecting for a long time. Just use this as motivation, use this as a rough guideline. Nothing in life is certain, so don't take it as gospel. Just adapt it, use it as fast as you can, go through iterations fast, be brave, and use this as a motivation tool to start. Don't overthink things, and that's it. Thanks a lot, guys. See you next one. Bye. Take 3. I'm good, but I got my team. I got my teammate.